Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Magical Coffee Hour. I am Drake. Hopefully, everyone is having a fantastic weekend. Tonight, we're going to try and talk a little bit about the magical concepts of spring cleaning and take some questions. And, generally hang out and have a good time and drink some coffee or whatever beverage it is you brought with you. Great news, everyone. We have got Working Dragon Mystics community in one spot. That means the community, a free community, the supporter community, and the online school are now in one location. You can find that link below. Just click that. It'll take you right to it. Be sure to join us. We got a lot of stuff going on over there. And yes, we have moved all the classes except Tarot are officially over there. So Dragon Magic 101, 102, Evocation, the Arcane Senses class, all those classes are over there. If you've purchased them at Teachables, there's even a way for you to get access to them at the new community at no extra charge, just so you know. But do check us out. We got a lot of amazing things coming, and I'm super excited because I have been clicking and transitioning videos for, well, a while now. Almost most of February, all of February, actually, even some of January. So my brain's been mush. I'm so happy it's done. So yeah, and thank you to all the admin and the community members who have been so supportive during all of this. Now, let's get into it. Actually, speaking of the community, Immortal has already shared a link there too, so you can find it there. What's this? Creator. Hey Drake, it's been a while since I last popped in, but been releasing some childhood trauma of invisibility being related to unheard, I love, unwanted, and Hecate has been really helpful. The process can't believe how the trauma affected my online business because I have such a hard time getting a brand and products out there to people who practice the craft. I just never realized how trauma can affect your adulthood. Oh yeah. That's why I say shadow work is so important. That's why I say accountability, owning shit, actually looking into who you are. Because, a lot of people take the idea, well, it's not my fault. I have the trauma. You're right. It's not your fault. Blaming anyone who has trauma. So we still have to own it. We have to look at it. We have to address it. We have to learn from it. And we have to work through it. That is all on us. 100%. That's 100% on us. And if we don't, you're absolutely correct. It can have a massive, massive effect on your adult life. Your businesses in so many ways. It's cray-cray. Eden, good to see you. Yes, Eden is correct. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're new here, especially if you love metaphysical content. We get into some great conversations. And if you want to get into even deeper conversations, join us at the online community, link below. See, Kenny, good to see you. Claude, welcome. Mathis, glad you could see you made it. Brother's under the weather. I hope he gets well soon. Really do. Can he? Okay. All right, I think we're caught up down here. Eden, working through trauma on my own. Extreme measure, risk, good reward. Yep. So on to the topic today. Spring cleaning. Everyone makes this comment. Everyone talks about it, but no one really ever stops to think about it, right? Everyone knows that come around spring, we try to tidy up. But a lot of people don't think about the whys. First off, we're coming out of winter, right? Most of the time, back in the day, you couldn't really do a whole lot for winter, so a lot piled up. And then, well, you kind of had to clean once it warmed up. You had to re-straighten everything and deep clean because you've been stuck in the house, right? But let's look at it from an occult perspective here, because we all know you could dust, you could do the carpets, you can mop, right? You can do all those things you couldn't do in the olden days. Honestly, in the winter, cleaning is about all there is to do sometimes. So in my case, I tend to get more cleaning, like house cleaning, directly done in winter than I do in spring and summer. But from an occult perspective, let's think about this. You've just gone through the long, dark winter, right? There are holidays which really raise up the ether and the vibe, and everybody's feeling good during the holidays in general, because we also have to recognize Holidays are a crapshoot for a lot of people. Take me for example. Holidays were a miserable, depressing, horrible time of year for me for most of my life. And I owe it to my wife and a few entities who have honestly helped me to view the holidays in a different view. And I absolutely freaking love them now. But until then, very depressing. And that's not unusual for a lot of people. Heck, one of my favorite movies as a kid was Lethal Weapon. Anyone who's ever watched that movie knows how screwy holidays can be. That's pretty standard about it. We won't go into details. Watch the movie, you'll understand. YouTube will get pissy if we talk about the details. But all that just kind of settles and sets in winter. Cabin fever concept, all those things settle. And we kind of we lose track. It's getting dark earlier. Die Hard's another good example, yeah. But for a different reason. But yeah. So when it comes time for spring cleaning, we need to actually look at it and take a measure. Actually utilize it for our practice. Actually utilize it for our goals and our manifestations, right? And I'm going to walk you through exactly what I'm planning on doing myself so you can get what I'm saying. So through the winter, I do a lot of work. I don't get to go outside. I don't get to go camping or anything that much. Actually, this year I didn't at all. And I'm actually looking either this month or next month to hit the woods, right? So first off, I know I need to look at my camping gear. I need to bust it out, look at it, make sure I got everything, all those good things. But part of that is during the winter when I'm filming and everything, and since I can't get to other locations and everything, I'll be honest, my office becomes more and more cluttered and piled and disorganized as time goes on. Now, granted, I try to straighten it every so often just so things aren't falling on me. But at the same time, point blank, my office right now looks like shit. Okay, we're just going to say it, tell the truth. So, one of my first things that I'm wanting to do spring cleaning wise is actually go through my office, clean it up, reorganize it. I got tapestries over here that I use for backgrounds that I haven't folded. I don't know why. I guess I got lazy, was in a hurry trying to film, get things posted, those kinds of things. But I need to fold those, put those away, get those where they belong. I'm going to go through my bookshelf, sort through it, find the book that I'm wanting to donate. Maybe I'll give them away in the community. We don't know. Of course, go through everything and organize it. Get it ready for a fresh year of manifestation, a fresh year of spell working, ritual working, all those wonderful things. I am going to give it a full once over, physically cleaning it. And then I'm going to come back through it and I am going to do a nice cleansing on it. And I'm going to set the energy on it. And I'm going to set it for empowering manifestation because this is where I do my work. And I'm going to clear out all that energy, all that stagnant energy, whatever it is. Yes, some of that energy that's sitting around here, it's good energy, but at the same time, there's plenty of stagnant energy, right? Do you have a cold? If you have a cold, having that cold, that miserable feeling, that actually puts ether into the room that's miserable. All these things can linger. Stub your toe, hurt your back. Are you cold? Did the power go out? Are you grumpy? All kinds of things. Then there's just the dark mood that so many people get into, right? All these things can easily be done and cleaned up. And I'm actually planning on doing this throughout my house entirely. I'm going to go through and do a lot of different things through the house, cleansing wise. So, what I would say to you is think about where everything's gotten stagnant over the winter and where things haven't actually been touched. Where's the dust bunnies hiding? Where's the pile of stuff that you put there and it's quasi organized? Like you look at it and you're like, I know what's there. It's organized ish, and challenge you to get rid of it, get it cleaned up, go through it, sort through it. If it's something you don't need, donate it if it's donatable. If it's not donatable, trash it. Because seriously, if it's not donatable, why do you have it? Those kinds of things. And then go through your house and use some form of cleansing ritual on your home. Whether you want to do a smudging ritual with sage, whether you just want to use an incense to do your smudging, whether you want to use a ritual like the lesser banishing ritual, the pentagram, or the dragon's flame ritual, which is actually one of my favorite go-tos personally, which we do have a video on it if you're interested in the dragon's flame ritual. And go room for room for room. This This time of year, spring cleaning, is not one of the time of year where I do a single ritual to cleanse the whole house. I will do that single ritual, true, but I go room to room to room doing the ritual also, making sure to get extra deep and clean into there and set that energy very, very specifically. Two reasons. First off, I want to set the whole house for manifestation and empowerment, right? But there are certain rooms in the house where I will go back a second time and set them for very specific things. Very specific. Um, and those change from year to year. Generally speaking, let's take the guest room. I have a guest room over here. I like to make sure it's got some good protections on it. It's great for restful sleep. It's great for peace. It's great for quiet. Because if I have a guest, I want to make sure that they have a peaceful, restful stay while they are here. So I make sure my guest room is set to that exact etherical vibration, vibe, whatever you want to call it. But it doubles up too, because my office is right next to the guest room, and I don't want any of the wonky collected items that I have in here to cause them to have nightmares or restless sleep or anything. So if I set that room up that way, it actually helps contain some of the wonkiness that my office might cause some people. So I try to be considerate like that. And if you got a garage, hit your garage too. That's part of your house. I'm going to be hitting my garage big time. My garage needs a twice over, not a once over. So yeah. So my question for you all, now that you're hearing this, what is it you could do this year for your spring cleaning to put an extra step in your giddy up as you get ready to set up for manifestation for this year? What is your circumstance? What is it you think you can do? And if you have any questions on how to tweak it or anything, throw them at me. That's why we're here. All right, let's see what we got in here. Thomas, I love the holidays until I started working with the public. Dude, that's life. That is life. I don't care who you are. Even here at Working Dragon Mystic, I have an amazing community. You guys do make the holidays awesome. Don't get me wrong. But when you're an adult, the holidays, they just got a sucky side. And when I own my own business, you just deal with it. It sucks. Anyone who ever tells you own your own business is the happiest you'll ever be, they lied to you. You got to do way more work than you've ever had to do before. So you better enjoy it. I do enjoy it. I enjoy what I do. At the same time, it's good we can turn the camera off, because as my wife says, we need a profanity filter from time to time, because I do have to get some frustrations out. Hey, there's actually times I think I actually focus and kind of hit the zen by just spewing profanity, getting frustrated. There's something zenful about it. I don't know what it is. And so many people, so many practitioners and teachers that I know, like, they've commented on it. It's like, how does that possibly calm you down and make you do better in things that require focus? And I'm like, does it? Because I really didn't notice until they started pointing it out. It's weird. But after all these years, I'm starting to think they might actually be telling the truth and not just being smart alecks. And it's kind of weird to think about. And I might owe a few of them an apology about that. But that's okay. But yeah, holidays are work. They are. They've got their ups and their downs, and you got to really focus on those good parts of it, Thomas. They're a handful. That's definitely not the same as when we were kids. I'm still a big kid for the holiday. That's good. That is good. That is absolutely good. I don't think I ever really got to do the kid holiday vibe. That's kind of where my problems come from. At the same time, my mom absolutely freaking loves the holidays. She is a big holiday guru. And even when I did holidays, I always, always, always tried to not ruin her holiday, because that was just one of her things. All right. And my mom worked so freaking hard to provide for us 4 kids. And I understood it. Like, I knew, me and her had our arguments and butted heads from time to time, because we have the same personalities. We were both very stubborn. But yeah, I always worked very hard to make sure her holiday wasn't ruined. Let's see, Eden, I got a lot of cleaning to do, but it will be very satisfying. Yeah, I got a lot. I really do. I have a lot. Many of you know that I had some back issues. I had a knee issue. Then I had some ankle and foot issues. Like it was just a rough few months for me. It's like one thing after the other. So there's been a lot of Drake not as mobile as Drake wants to be because I actually like to get up and move. I'm not like I can't sit, but because of that, it's all kind of fallen behind. Now, don't get me wrong. My wife tried to step in and help out and hold back the tide a bit, and she did an amazing job. I absolutely love that woman. Um, Keep her housewife, domesticated woman. She is not, and I'm cool with that because I knew what I married. So yeah, the stuff that I normally keep up because it bothers me, not her. That's the stuff that I got to dive into and get picked up. Not going to expect her to do that. Um, though if she watches this, she may ask if she can help, which I'm all cool if she helps. That's not that. Um, I officials, so fortunately, it only takes me about an afternoon to clean everything. Nothing wrong with it taking an afternoon to clean anything. Nothing. You can still go through also nice energetic cleaning. The physical cleaning is just the start. Do not get under this mindset that the energetic cleaning is the only thing you need to do. Because remember, ether moves a lot like water. It's going to take the path of least resistance. The more cluttered your home, the less ether is going to flow through it efficiently. So, as magicians, if we are actually looking for those manifestations in our life, we actually do need to consider how easy it is for things to flow through our home. And honestly, that's problematic. So, think open spaces, think open ways, those kinds of things. It does help as much as I hate to admit it, it does help. Now, I'm not saying it helps to the level of feng shui because like I've done a lot of testing on feng shui. I'm still not seeing any feng shui results. But the basis concept of ether flowing through the home in your life, that yes. But the feng shui side of it, I'm still like I'm always up to do another feng shui test. I don't know why. I guess I'm glutton for punishment. But after 20 years, I've not seen any tangible results. But if you use feng shui, no, not knocking it there. Um, I'm just saying when I say open, flowing, I'm not saying you have to go to that level, if that makes sense. One of my teachers actually said, think about how easy it is to navigate your house blindfolded, right? And okay, I was a bit of a jerk because I can really navigate my house even when it's a disaster very well in the dark or blindfolded. And she's like, "You're missing the point." It's like, "Yeah, I get it." So, um, oh yeah, yeah. Like everyone asked me, like if I could have a mansion, would I? No, no. Unless I have an army to clean it, I don't want a mansion. I do not want a house. I'm very well aware as an adult that if I own it, if I live in it, I have to clean it. And yeah, I don't want to clean it. I don't like cleaning. Like if I could get any Harry Potter spell, it would be the clean spell. It'd be just clean this bitch. That would be the spell I want. Um, Fictional magic aside, I'll be honest with you straight up. Fictional magic. Screw the fireballs, screw all this lightning bolts and all that crap. I want a spell to just whoop bippity boppity clean. That's all I want. Um Yep. Alan, I'm kind of in the same boat. Like I have ADHD. I have yeah, I'm always bouncing all over the place. So, and when it comes to injuries, well, my doctors wonder how I'm walking. I'll be honest with you. They're still trying to figure out how I'm walking. So, things can get behind. They really can. Um, but the big thing is that when they get out of hand, just to refocus and approach it one chunk at a time. And I do the best I can. Like a good example is if I get really, really super busy and I'm having to cook and maintain and do what I can, especially being carnivore. Like you don't do a lot of cooking on carnivore, but you're cooking meat, which is, uses a lot of grease and stuff. Now, normally my mom taught me you cook, you wipe, you down, all that. Fine. But if I get super busy with work or something, I'm going to get behind. The dishes are going to pile up a bit. And there's going to be grease splatter. And I didn't wipe it down daily the way my mama told me to. Um, and that turns what could easily be a 5-minute job, something I could walk into the kitchen and clean it up while the coffee is making, and actually probably beat the coffee maker in truth, to something that's probably going to take a few hours, right? I literally set aside a day. It's like on Tuesday, I was like, I'm going to clean my kitchen. And that's what I pull everything off the counters. I wipe everything down. I run several loads of dishes if I got to. I will sweep, I will mop. It's just kitchen day, and I catch it back up, and then I go back into maintenance. So that's the best way I've found to handle it, because if you don't handle it once you get to the point where you realize you got behind, you just keep getting further behind. Um, Whoa, we jumped here. Dano, hello, good live broadcast. I want to ask a question. Do negative energies make you feel cold? It's like someone's blowing cold on my hands in the evening. Technically, no. The technical answer would be no, because the way one individual feels ether over another is personal. Some people are cold, some people might. Itself, ether isn't negative. It is what it is. Everything is, it has a vibration, right? This concept of positive and negative, that is a completely misnomer. So if you're worried about the ether or the energies in your house, do a very basic cleansing, a very basic of any kind of cleansing. You can just use incense if you got it. Even the Walmart would work. You could use that and just waft some smoke around, focusing on breaking up some stagnant ethers and energies that is in that room, and then focus on pulling in and replacing it with that which you want. What do you want? Do you want it to be peaceful? Do you want it? What do you want? Because if you just clear it out, it's empty, and it's just the nearest ether and energy is just going to fill it, right? You have to put something back. Otherwise, it's like if you take a handful of water and you try to scoop a divot out of the water like you would snow, that ain't going to work, because, in snow, it just does that unless it's still snowing, because then snow is going to fall in there, right? But with water, you can scoop, but it's just immediately going to crash in on itself. Ether works in the same way. So you got to make sure you're doing that. Cold hands in the evening, though, that is something common for a lot of people around the world. Has nothing to do with ether. Has nothing to do with ether. Check on your circulation. Me, I got the cold feet problem. My feet get extremely cold very easy, even in summer. So honestly, you'll see me wearing socks or shoes most of the time, even in the house, because if my feet get cold, I'm going to put my socks on. My wife, she's one of those people. They can be 90 degrees and somehow she's cold. So that's just a pretty normal thing. Let's see what we got in here. Hey, Drake, what's your take on grimoires? Specifically, how the ones you have tried differ in their efficiency. So, if we're talking traditional grimoires, not modern grimoires, most of those grimoires are written with specific things omitted. They were written for somebody who already knew what they were doing. They were written by somebody who knew what they were doing. So all the missing parts were stuff the person already knew or had written down in somewhere else. They weren't actually meant to be a how-to manual, right? They were never meant to be a how-to manual. Unless they were a how-to manual for a student and the teacher's filling in the blanks. So in all truth, most old grimoires are almost useless in truth. If you're sitting down and reading them and wondering why they don't make sense and wondering why things feel like they're missing, it's because they are. It's just, it was omitted. Like, in fact, if you read most of my journals, I don't write every single detail of every single thought of every single thing, because unless I'm actually doing an experiment where I need to go back and know all the details. If it's something I already know, like I'm doing candle magic and I'm doing a spell for prosperity, I'm not going to go through there in detail. I used this type of candle. I used a votive candle. I made sure it was a hunter green candle. I don't do those things because I already know those things. So if someone picks up my grimoire or my journal, it's going to be incomplete because they don't have the portion of it that I would have already known when I picked it up and read it. So I do find them inefficient because they're incomplete. Now, at the same time, does that mean they're worthless? No, because just like any archaeologist or historian who's trying to recreate and piece something back together, you have a starting point, and then a skilled magician can take the starting point and start piecing it together and try and find a way to put a ritual or spell together that does work for them. Again, remember, there's not one way to do a spell. There's not one way to do a ritual. In all truth, you kind of got to do the thing that works best for you. You can manifest things and do it in ways that no one's ever seen before. But you need to make sure you're getting it to work. That's why I've always been a results-oriented person, because if I do it the same way 100 times and get no results, I'm just wasting my time. Seriously, that's just dumb. But if I'm constantly tinkering with it to get results, and when I start getting results, I tinker with it to get better results, that's a different story. I don't care if someone uses a pink candle for prosperity because pink makes them feel good. If they're getting results, that's all that matters at the end of the day. But I will say that most grimoires aren't worth the money. And a lot of grimoires that people think are grimoires are actually written fiction. So you also got to consider that. So check your sources. And I mean, check your sources. Don't just Google it, because there's a lot of grimoires that in the modern age, the myth has become such common knowledge that they're viewed as nonfiction, which is really kind of screwed up in my mind. Ski. Perfect's overrated. I don't want perfect for the holidays. I want fun. Um, Whoa, we jumped. Mortal, my luck, the cleaning spell will work more like Mickey's and flood me out of that. Yeah, I could see that kind of happening to me too. That would suck. Um, Today was going to the dump, the blowing and the raking leaves. Yep, man, that yard work. I always used to love dump runs with my dad. I don't know why. I think it was just because we got to take the day, we got to load the trailer and the truck up, and we got to drive down there. And we just spent the whole day talking, just chilling out. Like, he was never in a rush, my dad. Like, I get in a rush, but when I was with my dad, I'd slow down. And he was never in a rush. So it was just kind of a day event for me and him to sit and talk and do something. And he enjoyed getting out and moving because he had real bad arthritis. So, getting out and moving helped loosen up his joints and stuff. I used to love dump runs. It was like the weirdest thing. It's like, I'm going to the dump, and I was excited about it. But yeah, it was just one of those things. Cleaning the fridge tonight. Yeah, you got to. It amazes me how many people don't clean their refrigerators. That really baffles me. Uh, let's see. Aylin, I'm fond of getting pure resin incense that you put on charcoal's disc, mixing dragon's blood, myrrh, and benzoin for energetic cleansing. That's a pretty good blend. That is a pretty good blend. I do not like benzoin. I don't know why. There's something about the smell of it. I hate it. And no matter what I mix it with, like, it's the first thing I smell, and it's just like, I don't know. We all have our different things, but yeah, like, I don't know what it is about that one. But yeah, that is a good blend for that. Me, I honestly, you all know, I use dragon's blood for just about everything most of the time. If I ever run out of Dragon's Blood, which I buy in bulk, I've actually used tobacco. My wife would rather me not use tobacco. Or if I do, she wants me to use a nice aromatic pipe tobacco. She usually prefers those, which I get, honestly. I do try to avoid cigars because there's no way to burn a cigar that smells good ever. They just stank, period. If it's a real cigar, which, yeah, if I have cigars in the house, they're real. They're not these little candy flavored whatever they have at the gas station. So yeah, I like Dragon's Blood. I keep it simple. Like I used to use resin all the time, like you, Alan, and I loved the charcoal. I loved the way it created. It created some really good smoke. Um, where I lived at the time, like it was so easy to get sage. Like it just grew like ragweed everywhere. Um, but I don't know. I've never been fond of the smell of sage. Really, I haven't. It really makes me think of pot, and I hate that smell. And I know they're not the same smell. I know, so don't go screaming at me. They're not the same. I know. It reminds me of it. So I was just never fond of it. Did a great job with it, and it was easy to get. But once I started getting a hold of Dragon's Blood resin and stuff, I really just fell in love with that. And I got so used to the smell of Dragon's Blood, right? That when I did shift to using incense cones, just because we move all the time, they're easier and we never knew where we are going to get put. And you got to, they got restrictions on crap. So I started using incense cones for a lot of things. Also, smoke detectors, because resin will set off smoke detectors like crap. I found a Dragon's Blood incense that it gave me that smell. It was the smell I was looking for. And I've stuck with that ever since. I just buy it in bulk. A lot of things I just get lazy, mate. You know what I mean? But it gives me the results I'm looking for. Let's see, where are we here? There was a connection I made years ago for a serious cleansing, but I don't recommend it for casual use. Yeah, there's different types of cleansings and stuff, and you got to be careful. I know a voodoo queen. Like every spring cleaning, she completely douses her entire house in pure, true voodoo Florida water. And I ain't talking the bottled stuff you buy in the cold store. Um, so like the difference in her house when she's done cleaning, it's like whoa. Um, Thomas, speaking of writing fiction, I remember the Necronomicon when it was taken seriously back in the day. Right? The Necronomicon. Oh my God. How many people have tried to take that work of fiction and make it into a fact? It's crazy. Have people utilize Marvel and gotten results? And we know Marvel's fiction, right? Servitors are fiction. You literally made them up, but they're able to get some form of a result. Um, it's the magician that matters, not the book. If you're relying on a book, you're missing the point to start with, and you're actually putting yourself behind the eight ball in your learning. That would be something I would tell any student I have. It is the magician that matters, not the book, not the tool. Um, at the end of the day, every bit of it starts and ends with the magician. Um, Matthias, I don't mind dump runs, and raking was fun today. I was in the zone. Yo, yeah. Oh, God, yes. When you're outside working and you hit that zone, you got to freaking love that. Yeah, running errands with my dad. I miss that so much. I really do. That's one of the things I miss most about when he passed away is just being able to run those errands with him. Do you think drinking coffee lowers vibration? Not at all. Absolutely not. I do not know where this comes from. And a lot of this vibration lowering, there's no evidence to it. There is none to it. There is none to it. And honestly, every time I've gone to one of these vibrational seminars or whatnots or workshops, I've gone with an open mind, and it nothing changes. Nothing changes with me. Nothing changes with anyone else. No different than like if you took a group of people to socialize anywhere. You could take them to the bowling alley, to the arcade, to the movie theater, to a coffee shop. The same good energy from hanging out with friends would still be there. Um, so no, I've actually absolutely not noticed it. If anything, I've seen most people's attitude and everything go up drinking coffee because it's a very enjoyable thing. There's a lot of things they will talk about for whatever reason, and some people say they're pandering. Some people say there's a ulterior motive. Blah blah. I don't give a shit, but their motives are what they are. They could just be trying to sell a book. I don't know. Maybe they don't like coffee and they're trying to shut coffee down. I don't know. But I've never seen any inclination in years to make that statement hold water. And you're talking to a guy who literally would drink gallons of coffee a day at a point. In fact, Oscar, if he's in here, he actually calculated how much coffee I drank. I did not know I drank that much coffee because it was in the gallons. But I've cut back my coffee quite a bit, and there's been no real change, none at all in me. So I went from gallons to like 1 to 2 pots a day. And the only reason I've done that is I've been trying to drink more water where I've gone carnivore and wanting to try and get in shape and get back in down to my fight weight and stuff like that. So with the muscle tone and the weight loss, I need to make sure I'm getting water and electrolytes. And well, so I've just replaced my coffee with it. But no, I've not noticed anything in any way to back that up. I'm looking. I always keep looking. I always keep looking. Just because I've not found it yet doesn't mean I stop looking. Does not mean I stop looking. Do dragons like tobacco? In what way? You mean they like to smoke it? They can't smoke it, so they don't really care about that. Depending on, I have seen that some dragons do like the smell of certain tobaccos or whatnot. It's not like a dragons like tobacco. It's not just a flatlined concept. It would be individual from dragon to dragon. Some dragons will even take tobacco as an offering if they care for it. Others, they have no taste for it at all. They don't want anything to do with it for whatever reason. They don't like it. There's been absolutely despise. Even though I may have like one cigar a year, I have to be careful not to work with that dragon, or I got to listen to them bitch and moan about the smell of cigars the whole time I'm working with them. And it's quite annoying. But the smell, they don't care otherwise. But then there are others that they absolutely love them. They absolutely do. There's one dragon I work with that honestly and truly, if he can get it for an offering, there's at least two different types of cigars that he will ask me for. One is a machine-made cigar, Caribbean spice style cigar. It's a pretty decent cigar, honestly, affordable. But at the same time, if I ain't got them, it's like, dude, I ain't got them right now. I don't smoke regularly, so I don't got them. He ain't going to be bent out of shape about it. Generally, I just offer him a little water, whatever I got in the house, even some ether I'll put into a crystal charge and set it, and they're happy. See, Kenny, I pick up trash for a living and would be amazed what people throw away. Oh, no, dude, no. I know a man that did that. Good friend of mine. He found full, like, vintage Star Wars vehicles, the Star Destroyer, everything, and he, like, totally snagged those sons of bitches up, and I don't blame him. You're absolutely right. And people, our trash men do not get enough credit. They get up early. They go through all kinds of weather. They work hard, and it's a good job. Pays good money. Too many people look down on shit like that. Good job, good money. We here at Working Dragon Mystic love coffee a lot. Yeah, that we do, obviously. I mean, we have magical coffee hour, right? But no, the benefits to coffee, like there's a lot of benefits to actually drinking coffee. Probably not in excess, probably not in the quantities I used to drink it. But my doctor never found any side effects of it either. So there's that too. Haha. He tried. I will give the man credit. He tried. he had an army trying to find it, but they never did. So yeah. Let's see. See, Alien has a benzene has an acid scent. I think it was like energetic bleach. I could see that. I could see that. I could see that. I really could see that. Let's see. Matthias, coffee forever. Mugs up. Mugs up to you, mate. Honestly, coffee is kind of like my comfort animal, if you will. I do not drink a lot of it anymore. Like I said, I'm down to maybe a pot, and that pot me and my wife share. But so I guess that'd be half a pot, two thirds of a pot, something like that, depending on how much she drinks that morning. But like, no matter how stressed I am, no matter how wound up I am, no matter how exhausted I am, no matter how bad of a day I've had, I can sit down with a cup of coffee and unwind. And by the time that cup, everything is fine in life. It really is. And as far as things go, that's a pretty damn good, powerful item to have in my life. And when I say sit down, I mean, like, I have literally been bloodied, holes in me. I got holes super glued and stapled shut. Doctors are worried. I'm if I don't care if I have to get a straw. If I got my coffee, I'm okay. Um, it's just my happy spot. Let's see. Holy heck, that's a lot of coffee. Right, right. I've okay. So before y'all freak out, let's understand that what I was doing. Okay, I'm a heavy drinker, and when I say that, I mean I drink a lot of liquids, not alcohol. So I practically always have a beverage in my hand to sip on. Well, um, for many years, that beverage was just coffee. From the time I woke up to the time I went to bed, it was coffee, right? So I'm going through several pots of coffee. And we all know coffee is not measured in, normal cups. Like it's not like an actual liquid cup and the cup in a coffee. It's not the same. They use some weird measurement. So I was just drinking coffee. I was having a good old time. No biggie. And it was Oscar. He sat down and asked how much coffee I drank. I was like, on average? I was like, well, I don't know. I was like, and I figured up the pots I was drinking at the time because we were going through 4 or 5 pounds of coffee a month, easy, sometimes often more. Um, and he calculated that up into gallons. Like I did not realize I was drinking a gallon of coffee, much less gallons. Um, and weirdly, that didn't stop me. But yeah, Oscar probably, I don't know if he'd still remember the exact measurement or not. I might have to ask him, but it was crazy. But at the same time, it's what you drink. It's what you drink. Now I drink more water than anything, but I still drink my coffee. Let's see. Let's see. Matthias. Any form, but when I'm making it for me, I make mine spiced coffee. See, I'm not actually an any form coffee guy. I do have like flavored coffees. I do not like them. There's like this chemically taste that flavored coffees have that I absolutely cannot stand. I would honestly rather drink water that has been soaking in pennies for 2 years than flavored coffee because copper tastes better than whatever that chemical is. I don't know. Most people don't taste it. My palate picks it up and it kills it for me. So is what it is, right? So I usually stick to black coffees. I prefer medium to dark roasts. I'm not a light roast guy. They have a bit too much of an acidic flavor to them. I just don't like them. Um, but yeah, like I can sit and talk coffee flavors all day long because I'm very picky about it. I make my old school Cuban. Oh, I love me some Cuban coffee. I do love me some Cuban coffee. Whoa, that might be enough reason for me to consider retiring to Florida. Not lying. Um, but I don't put stuff in my coffee. I just drink it straight and black, so no sugars. See, oh, the old school foam. That's the good stuff. Okay. All right. Any other questions we got in here, people? We're at 45 minutes. We've been covering some questions for sure. And we kind of got a little derailed, nothing too big. Let's see what we got. Also, do remember we do have a Winter Fae pathworking that will be starting in the community for supporters, right? That will be starting around the summer solstice. So if you're interested in the Winter Fae pathworking, make sure you go over to the community and it will be supporter only. They will eventually, hopefully, make it to the online. Probably be next year or the following year, depending on how things go. Because once the path workings are done and they're testing initial phase, they got to be reworked and polished for the online school. Just so y'all know about that. Want to be candid and honest with you here. That and I think we actually come up for orders next year, so we may they may decide to move me cross country or God knows where. So if I have to deal with a move next year, that can delay courses. Obviously, I'd rather just sit my ass right where I'm at and stay for another 4 years. We'll see what happens. Let's see. Drake, we had a question from our community about enchanting. Oh, thank you, Immortal. Yes, we did have a question about enchanting tattoos. It is doable. However, you need to consider how you do it. There's a few ways you. Um, the most potent way is also the most, and that would be actually focusing the enchantment while the tattoo or sigil is being done specifically. Now, this is dangerous because A, you got to maintain your focus the whole time. And B, you got to trust whoever's tattooing you. And I mean, trust them implicitly because there's no way you can tattoo and open a person up, exposing blood, and not have an effect on the situation. So you need to make sure you trust that person if you're going to be charging or enchanting something while it's being permanently laid into your skin like that. And in truth, I don't those people that much. I really do not. Um, maybe two in the whole world. So that's option one. That's actually would be the ideal solution, but unfortunately, people suck. So it's not actually going to work too well. Your next solution would be to, if you get the tattoo, just get a standard tattoo of a sigil or something like that. Because the symbol itself, let me reiterate this, the symbol itself does nothing. I don't care if it's a sigil, I don't care if it's a rune, it's just lines. It does nothing. If it's not empowered, if it's not charged, it does nothing. Okay? You can print out as many sigils of the Goetia or Lucifer or anything you want. They're just pictures on paper. They have no power. Got it? All right. That said, now, if you choose to get a sigil or something tattooed on you in some way, at which point you can then charge it after the same way you would charge a paper sigil. It won't hold on to the energy, just like paper won't hold on to the energy forever. It will dissipate, but you can charge it and can go back and recharge it and still utilize it in that way. And some people actually find that better because you can actually essentially redo it and retweak it and recharge it for different things that the sigil may represent in different ways, if that makes sense. So one example I think that was given in the community is like the runes on my arm. Yes, those are a great example of this, but if you had a rune tattoo, we know the runes have thousands of meanings within one rune. You could one day use something like Fehu for wealth. Yay, wealth. Wealth is a good thing, right? You're working on a project at work or something or raise and everything. Wealth, that makes sense, right? Great. However, suddenly you need a new job or something. You're starting something brand new and beginning. You're not really as focused on growing wealth as new job or new career or new school or new exercise routine, something that has that new beginning. Feihu, new beginning again. You can utilize that again. But it also, it's going to take that knowledge of the runes to do it. And you could accomplish the exact same thing with a piece of paper. So it just depends. See, and it was 3 gallons of coffee, Drake, according to Oscar. So 3 gallons of coffee a day. That's a lot of gallons. And you think a jerry can's 5 gallons. So yeah, that's a lot of coffee. And by the time Oscar had done the math, honestly, I'd cut back. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. Aylin, actually, do you have any spell working recommendation for executive function relating to cleaning, especially if there are ones that work in tandem with mundane solutions for ADHD, etc.? Processing the phrasing of this, Aylin. Would enchanting the ink before, you would have a hard time enchanting the ink, the way they have to seal it for sterilization. So if you're actually going to be tinkering with the ink and everything beforehand, you run serious risk of infection. I would not do that. Getting up and getting started is the hardest part, especially with chronic pain in the mix. Absolutely, I understand that. If you're going to do spell work in that, what I would do is do spell work to boost your motivation and your commitment. That's where I'd put my spell work. Nothing else is really going to work. If you're wanting to use spell work in tandem with it, you need to work on your motivation, your personal commitment to your goals. Those are the things. And you also need to actually sit down and evaluate your life and figure out what is genuine, because you need to actually do that. I'm someone who has, I'm told there was a time before I was 10 where I didn't have chronic pain. So I'll have to take that word for it. But in one way or another, I've had pain. I can't remember a time where my body didn't hurt. A good day is when it doesn't hurt as bad. But that's just it. And at no point have I ever, for better or worse, I've tried to never let the pain stop me from doing what I need to do. Granted, there were times when things were cracked and or broken that my wife had to remind me, just because you can work through the pain doesn't mean you're supposed to, dumbass. Sit down and heal. Granted, that is the case. But sometimes that wasn't the case, where, it's just joint pain and whatnot. And that does come down to your motivation and your commitment to the things that you're actually pursuing, right? Because it is very easy to just not do it. I've been trying to work out and get in shape. Now, I knew for a fact that, like, I was sitting there thinking, I was like, I could go up here to the gym, I could get me a trainer, I could start lifting, I could hit the rowing machine. And these are all things that would absolutely be great for me, right? But I knew that if anything went wonky in my day, the easiest thing for me to do would be step aside and be like, you know what? I ain't got time to do the gym because I got to do this. Getting in shape was important for me. It's very important. Getting to the gym, not so much. So I have built a workout routine at home so that regardless of gym, workout. And when I get to the gym, I make use of that rowing machine. So it does take some personal evaluation along with the spell work if you're going to use it. Spell work can be helpful, but most of it does fall on us. And believe me, overcoming ADHD and stuff like that, it is tricky. My brain bounces all over the house. I have so many great ideas. In fact, I have a habit, Aylin, and this habit I developed because of it. If I have a thought that I need to do the dishes, or I need to do this, or I need to do laundry, or I need to do that, I pop up and do it. I just pop up and do it because I know if I don't do it right then when I think about it, I won't do it. And that's honestly a habit I've built my entire life because I know I will just wander off and forget. Does this occasionally bug my wife? Absolutely, because she's someone who can think of something and she can wait 30 or 40 minutes until she gets up and goes to do something and she can take care of it then. I can't do that. If I don't do it the moment it's in my brain, I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it. So that's where you want to focus your spell work, and you want to build that habit of getting up and doing it regardless. And I know it hurts. I know it aches. Um, my joints are getting better. All I can figure it's the way I'm eating because that's when it started. But at the same time, everything still hurts. Like me walking through the house, I used to like just sound like Rice Krispies, just crack pop, crack pop, crack pop. It sucks, but that's honestly, I wish I had a better answer for you. Just get up and do it. Next thing is set alarms. Like I use the shit out of my phone for alarms so that important things are on there and I remember to do them. That's what I do. So I also use that whenever I can. And my calendar, actually, on my every time I sit down at my desk, I open the internet, and my calendar is the first thing I see. Also, to remind me of things I got to do. But yeah, getting up and getting in motion is definitely the hardest part. It really is. And to be honest with you, Aylin, the getting up and getting moving, that's always going to be a problem. It always is. Some of the most energetic, motivated people I know to this day, just getting in motion is the biggest step. And grant you, once you get them in motion, my God, it's like, where'd this energy come from? But I don't think I know anyone that's not a hard. There is definitely something to it. Like you've got to get that motion going. Everyone has trouble with it. Yeah, yeah. Look, understand this. If you're in chronic, for those of us who we live with pain, right? It's our friend. It's like our blankie. It really is. Like it's weird. If I woke up tomorrow and I wasn't in pain, I don't know what I'd do. I'd probably think I was dead. It would be weird. You have to understand that just because we're in pain, just because we're hurt, doesn't mean the world gets paused, doesn't mean life stops. No, none of that. And you always need to understand you need to pursue some level of self sufficiency. You need to be able to take care of yourself. And as a magician, you're looking to grow and improve yourself, right? So, yeah, I'm epileptic. Yeah, I got pain. Guess what? I don't get a day off because I'm hurting. I got work to do. You got stuff you got to do. Whatever. I'm still trying to do stuff. I don't just stop. And Aylin, you said Eden said that. Eden, you got to understand, she got to do. You can't baby her. She's a grown ass adult. She got to do her shit. You got to get it done. So, Aylin, when he tells him that, just tell him to sit down. You got it. Yep, getting started. Getting started with anything, whether it's a magical practice, an exercise routine, cleaning, mowing the yard, cleaning the gutters. Heck, think about it. Even going to the store or even going camping. Like it is literally the hardest thing just to get going. And then because once you're going, you have a great time, right? It's all fun. You're outside, you're exercising, you're getting something done, you're feeling accomplished. Like even cleaning the gutters, like you feel super accomplished when it's done, right? It's not a hard job, but you feel really good about it. And that's kind of the ticket there. But it is getting going. It's the motivation to get up and do it. And people, if you take anything from my dad, I would say it would be this. My dad, as easy as he took things, he always made a point to just get up and go do something. Like even if he had nothing to do that day, He refused to sit and just watch TV. He would get up and go do something. He'd get up and go to the store. He'd get up and go to Waffle House. He'd get up and go play his guitar or go visit a friend or something. He would get up and just go do something. Honestly, one of the best skills we could probably, all of us, and I need to work on this too in my life, is learning to just get up and go do it. Right? What was the old Nike slogan? Just do it. Yeah. Just turn that into just get up and do it. You know what I mean? Don't ponder it. Don't procrastinate. Just get up and go do it. Then it's done. This is not even on your brain. You don't have to stress about it. It's amazing. Let's see. Everybody's throwing fucking clocks at me. Look at that shit. Yep, it is definitely time to go. All right, everybody. You have a wonderful. What is this? Waffle House is amazing. Yeah, I'll be honest. West Coast, y'all suck. Y'all need to get Waffle House fast. You really do. I ain't coming back. Yeah, no Waffle Houses. I ain't coming back. Well, I guess if the military sends me, I'll have to. But y'all need a freaking Waffle House. And don't tell me Sherry's is your all's Waffle House. Sherry's is not Waffle House. It is not. It's not. It holds no candle to Waffle House. That being said, though, Waffle House, I love it. And if you have never been to the South or never been to a Waffle House, get your ass to a Waffle House and order you some food. It's good shit. All right, everybody, I got to get off here. I got to get into a meeting. I got to go bug some people, get some stuff done. And I got to hit this week and get it going and have some fun doing it. Y'all take it easy, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Good night.